Awesome, man. So how's it going today?
Good, man. Office is loaded. People are dialing. Excitement and energy is high. When you got to pick up a phone and you're in the dumps, probably not the best time to call. When energy is high, it's probably the best time to call.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Dave, just if you can to begin with, if you can kind of fill us in, where you from? Little bit of your story, how you ended up with FFL, what were you doing before? Just if you can go for 2-3 minutes, and we're gonna get to the juice of our conversation right after that.
Love it. Love it. So I've definitely got some experience in this industry. I started doing this right out of college as an intern. Um, I was doing an internship for about $1,000 a month at a financial services company. And I remember I asked the guy that they partnered me with. I said, "Hey, what do you make per month?" I was 20 something year old kid, and he said, "Oh, about 50, 60K a month." And I said, "Are you kidding me? They're paying me $1,000 a month to do this. Forget that, man. I'm ready to tear in and just do it." Well, fast forward, I actually found FFL about 2.5, 3 years ago on an accident. I was working for a major Fortune 100 company that all of our way of prospecting was friends and family and natural market and in alumni groups. And basically, you had to find your own prospects. Now, I was a managing partner, so they were paying me to be there. So I don't know that I cared, to be completely transparent, but a lot of the agents weren't making any money, and they're good quality people. They just had no people to see. You can only run your natural market for so long until you're out of people. So I found FFL on accident. Someone posted on LinkedIn about some leads. So I remember I called and I said, "Hey, what do I got to do to get some of these leads?" And the lady said, "Well, join our IMO." And at the time, I even said, "Well, what's an IMO?" "Oh, it's an independent brokerage shop. Are you captive or non-captive?" I said, "Well, I'm non-captive." "Well, why don't you partner with us?" So I thought, all right, I'll give this a go. I got to get some leads. If I can get them into my people's hands, we'll be cranking here. And I partnered with FFL, and I thought, well, if I'm gonna teach these people at another company how to sell off leads, I got to get out and I gotta sell some so that I can train them on it. Well, I got out, Ivan. The very first day I was in the field, I think I sold 4 people. I made like 14 grand, and they told me it was going to be in my bank account in 2 days. And I thought, are you kidding me? So at this time, I was probably 12, 13 years in the industry, and I'd never heard of an opportunity like this where I could call people who requested information, and that money was going to be in my bank account in 2 days. So I started slowly, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, until next thing you know, I gave up the salary they were paying me to be a managing partner, and I was 100% all in on Family First Life. So last year, meaning 2019, all I did was ran. I wasn't looking into training, developing, growing, anything like that. I just ran business, and I had a pretty good year in 2019. I got a couple of accolades, and they told me I did some cool things, but it was good. And now, throughout probably halfway through 2020, and then into this year, myself, but also my agency, we are full steam ahead on looking to grow this thing as big as we can. And we can get into how that works and why and that. So that's basically how I got to FFL and what we're up to now.
Absolutely, man. Well, thanks for that introduction. Appreciate it. And there's going to be two main topics we're going to discuss today. I'm going to give everyone on the call today just the what happened yesterday. As always, you reached out to me and said, "Hey, what are we going to talk about? Annuities?" And I said, "Heck no. Like that's enough." And just so you guys know, Dave, you were top 2 or top 3 last year when it comes
I was
to
second last year, and I'll finish 4th this year.
Okay. So you're definitely heavy on that. But what I really wanted to dive in today is the importance of our systems and what we're using all the time. And we really we never talked about it, but on the call like this, you might have been, presented that at the new agent training and stuff like that. But a lot of what we do is all about basics, and it's all about doing basic things extraordinarily well. So we're going to talk about systems today, what they do for the whole entire team, for us, for you as an individual producer, and we're going to dive into what Dave is dealing with right now, what he's good at, and actually, annuities is just learning that is great, but it's just a stepping stone to what you do right now, because I'm assuming selling them on a consistent level provides a decent amount of money, right? So, and that's your stepping stone to building an agency, and that's what you're doing right now. If you can kind of just run us through what you did a year before, then last year, and then how it's all going to turn around in 2021, and what are you going to be using your annuity checks for?
No, you're exactly right. And it's funny, I just got off the phone with a buddy of mine over at Edward Jones. Maybe I shouldn't have said the name of the company. Well, at a brokerage shop. And we were talking about how much different our two industries are and how different our careers are. Both doing very well, both providing for our families very well. But he is an independent financial planner doing it all by himself, one guy in one shop. And I brought this guy into the industry about a decade ago. And we were talking, because I'm going to put a little bit of money with him. And we were talking today, and I said, how's it going? He said, great. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm making and all that. And he said, how's it going for you? I'm making about the same, doing great. But he said, you know what I missed, though, is I missed when you brought me into this industry about a decade ago, the excitement and the charge and the energy and all that. He said, despite what my paycheck is, it gets really lonely in here all by myself a lot of times. So, and I guess that's probably where I was last year, Ivan. I don't know what my number was, but I made somewhere between $500,000 and $750,000 last year. But there wasn't always a lot of joy in it because all I was doing was dialing alone, going and seeing people alone, dialing alone, going and seeing people alone, in the home alone, driving from the car alone. So the wallet and the bank account was good, but also Mark's asked me several times, well, how long do you want to be doing that for, man? You're not getting any younger. You've spent some time in this industry. Are you still going to want to be seeing people 20, 25, 30 people a week, 5, 8, 10 years from now? And every time you asked me that, the answer was no. So, now I still see probably 15, 20 people a week, but almost all of that money that isn't used for personal reasons goes back into recruiting in some way, shape, or form for another. So I basically run to fund the growth of the agency now. I'm running enough appointments to be able to dump back enough money into it so that we can train, develop, and recruit. And we're bringing on people at a pretty good clip right now. But we haven't even begun of where we want to take this thing. So I would say last year was a year of personal, professional growth from an income and selling standpoint. I would actually say the last 2 years, 19 and 20, but halfway through last year, a couple guys on my team really wanted to start growing this thing and bring some other people in. So heading into 2021, this is a year that from an agency standpoint, we're just looking to explode.
100%, man. Yeah, other than that thought of, hey, how long am I going to sell for? Not getting any younger, I'm able to build, what actually clicks. I saw the post the other day with a hashtag Rita,
Oh, yeah.
RITA, which stands for recruiting is the answer, right? So this is guys, by the way, I'm not going to pay our typical call where we train you on the sales because it's been recorded so many times.
Sure.
You can find so many of the recording when it comes to the sales training, but and one guy, I think it was Frank DeSena, he commented to that post saying, yeah, that's right, recruiting saved my marriage. So he probably was able to stop running at least a couple evenings a week, at the pace he was going, and I don't think probably his wife was 100% happy with him being gone 5, 6 evenings a week. And it's crazy. So, I mean, was there anything like that for you? What was there other than like just a long-term vision? What actually clicked, Dave? What actually?
Well, I'll tell you what clicked. I'll tell you what clicked. I was having a conversation with somebody at one point about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe even a little bit before that, versus the different philosophies that people can have in this industry. All right, and you can even see territorially a difference between some groups' philosophy and some other groups' philosophy. My what I mean by that is some people are looking to do 40, 50, 60, 80, $100,000 a month every single month. And then other agencies have the philosophy that, hey, look, I don't have to write that much business. And I was watching a video on this 10-10-10 philosophy. And it really had an impact on me, where we're not trying to teach our people how to go out and write $40,000, $80,000, $100,000 a month of business. We're trying to teach them how to write 10K a week, 10 licensed a week, 10 hires a week, and then put 10 people in class per week. And I started thinking, man, what a way to grow your business financially. I mean, you're still doing 40K a month, which is top 1% income in the country, yet you're also building something at the same time. So you see some agencies, they're way top heavy on production, and they may have some people underneath them. And then you see other people where their personal production isn't as top heavy, but these people been here for 6 months and they got 18, 20, 30 writers. And then you'll see people been here a year and maybe they did 300K, but their team is doing almost $500,000 already. And I'm thinking, maybe I got this twisted a little bit, because which is more sustainable for you to continue to write 700K a year, or for you to write 300, 400, 500K a year, but you have a team doing $500,000, 750, $1 million. So I watched this podcast and it struck me, dude, I'm going about this all wrong, man. Not only is it lonely, not only is it exhausting, but long-term dollars, this is the way to go. I mean, look at some of these guys like Taylor and Killamit. Some of these guys, they don't have to sell. They've spent all this time building to where I remember I was talking to a guy one time. He said, you got to get your agency into a position where you can't screw it up. What that means is the system is running itself at some point. You have enough people, you have enough systems in place that it's just running it for you. And that's way more sustainable than me going out and seeing 25, 30 people all day, every day, each and every single week. So I think when I first heard about this 10 by 10 by 10 by 10 philosophy, I thought, man, long-term growth happens with bringing other people inside of it. But the other thing that happened was I felt like I was holding some people back in the agency. So here I was, I'll write a lot of business and I will see people and I'll take care of David. But I hired a couple of guys who they wanted to grow. They wanted to grow and they wanted to recruit. And they see some of these other people in about the same age and demographics that they're in. And because I wasn't growing, I wasn't moving, I didn't have a pulse going this way, I felt bad at one point, like I'm holding these guys back a little bit. So if I really want to get people the best opportunity in this agency, in this industry, then I've got to get some things moving this way. And then what happened was we just got an office, we got some space, we hired a couple people, and then it's almost like the snowball going down the hill. Then you get a little bit of momentum, and then you hire a machine who can write a lot of business. And then he brings a couple people on board, and then they're bringing a couple people on board. And I'll tell you what, we had a pretty good production week this week. But what made the most impact to me this week, Ivan, was we had 9 people who hired a person. 9 people on our team brought somebody else on board, and that's what told me, all right, the system's starting to work now, because I can bring on 15 people, and that's not the culture in the agency though. But when you have 9 people bringing somebody on board, that's when you know explosive growth is coming. Explosive growth is coming real soon. When you look at some of these other agencies, and there will be 45 people who brought somebody on board. And that's when you know the system is just working itself.
That's amazing, man. Yeah. And well, at some point I felt an urge of interrupting you, and when you were talking about some numbers, right? You know, but then I'm like, yeah, that'd be rude. Let me just let they finish. But let's scroll back a little bit. 280 as a team this month. I mean, we still didn't get our issue paid for some reason, but probably 280. I said, I'm not sure if you got your issue paid numbers for December, but I think it'll be around 280, 300,000 for you this month. Is that right?
You know what's funny about that? I was talking about that with me this morning. We'll finish right about that 275, 280. And the first thing I did, Ivan, was looked at my own number and thought, if I would have done that, we would have hit it. But yeah, probably just shy of it, 275, 280.
All right. Well, that's some crazy numbers. And again, like, yeah, there's teams doing more. Okay. But I think you are one of not many people right now in the whole entire company that have that crazy momentum. Okay, crazy momentum. Okay, and I don't think you were doing anywhere near that 3 months ago, were you? Or
no, 3 months ago we might have done 40 as an agency.
Wow, that's some growth. So it's like you grew 8 times essentially, and out of that 40, I bet you were 35.
I was a lot of it, yes.
Okay, so if we don't count your production, so you just exploded, and this thing gonna keep growing. Also, what I liked a lot what you said is I'm holding my guys down. If I'm not recruiting, they're not recruiting. So what am I doing? Why am I limiting their opportunity? And that's the right way of doing business. That's how the business done, right? So despite of this MLM type of feeling to it, how some people think. So, but I'm gonna let you expand on that, why it's completely opposite here. But talk to some of the producers here and obviously by all means, with everything you said, you never said stop writing, right? So be clear, guys. They've never said stop writing. He said definitely write. You gotta get, if you're not at that, consistent level of doing 10 a week, I mean, building would be hard, really hard, right? So, I mean, can you, and there's some ways how you can actually put yourself in the position financially so you can actually start building something meaningful, right? So, for example, one of the ways that I know is if you hire just a couple of people, they're going to push you up, right? So you hire a couple of people, your personal production is going to go up because you want to lead from the front. You just want to, be the example for the 2 guys you just hired. Pushes you to 10,000 a week, and you all set to start opening your own agency, opening the door to your office. It's not as difficult as it may sound, like finding an office and doing all that. But they talked to us a little bit about after you made that decision, after you listened to that podcast, and after you okay, here's what I'm gonna do. What give us some step-by-step instruction. How someone, and by the way, we can skip the part how to get from 2,000, 3,000 a week to 10,000 a week. You all guys know that by now, right? So you just have to buy leads, be on the phone, simple and easy, get more experience, get very consistent. It's not that deep, and if you need help, with getting to that 10K level, I'm willing to spend half hour, 45 minutes, an hour with you on the phone, not a problem. Call me directly. We're going to skip that part completely today. But, once you get to that level, 10,000 a week, 7, 8, 10,000 a week, what exactly each one of us on this call should do to jump from our own production to that level of 200,000-300,000 a month? So what exactly you were doing?
So you're asking me, what does a producer do to go from making 7 a month to a couple $100,000 a month?
Well, yeah, basically as a team, because what I'm going back to is that you had your own production plus couple writers 3 months ago.
Yes.
In short 3 months, you exploded. What exactly you were doing? So what were you, give us step-by-step instruction of what that looks like, how each one of the people that on this call that make that conscious decision to build, catapult their business into where you're at right now.
No, I got you. I got it exactly. And I'll tell you what, and I'm not saying this biasly because you are you're the one hosting this call, Ivan, but the biggest accolade, and I told you this at the time it happened, the biggest accolade that I saw throughout the entire year at Family First Life was yours, believe it or not. The first guy ever to hit Hall of Fame as a producer and Hall of Fame from an agency in the same year. And that's actually my goal this year, believe it or not. I want to mimic your goal because I think leading from the front is extremely important. So Ivan's exactly right. A lot of times I see that people hop on a call and they see somebody young in the industry a couple months and they got this massive agency, and then they start calculating some numbers about what they must be making in override on this agency, and they stop selling. And all of a sudden, the capital that you now had that you were going to use for hiring is gone. Also, if you're not producing at least at a moderate to above clip, how do you expect these brand new agents to listen to you at all? Big numbers attract big numbers. And when you continue to put up big numbers, people will do anything you tell them to do. So if I and it's why you know, Mark Mead and some of these guys who do these different trainings, and that why I listen to them, because they put up a big number in the industry. So if they say do this, you're going to do it. If they say do that, you're going to do it. So my point is, you'll never ever want to take your foot off the gas pedal. You're always going to want to. You don't always have to be the number one writer, but you always have to have a good number, or else next thing you know, you're not the leader and somebody's following somebody else in your agency. All right. So what we did though was kept writing business, had some money, and then we realized we had to start recruiting and training and bringing on some people. So I'm a guy who's kind of funny. When my mind's made up on it, I probably go in 30 different directions, and I start doing every single one of these things. I just start throwing money here and throwing money here and throwing money here and throwing money here. And then I'll figure out after the fact which ones actually work. Well, what's crazy is they all ended up working. All right. So I thought, all right, I'm going to get back on LinkedIn, and I'm going to start recruiting some people on LinkedIn. So I just started throwing every post. I just started copying everybody's post on LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is probably the most long-term and passive way, I feel, to recruit people, because it can be a huge time waster. It's almost like I'm going to watch training videos on Facebook. Well, next thing you know, you end up scrolling on Facebook and you watch 5 minutes of videos and 40 minutes of scrolling. But I also started buying recruiting Facebook leads. And I've got 3 people that are phenomenal producers off of Facebook leads. And recruiting leads are no different than insurance selling leads. It's the same deal. You get 100 recruiting leads and you're like, all right, I'm about to blow up my agency. Out of those 100 leads, you hire 3 or 4 people. I mean, just like you buy 100 instant internet leads, probably going to get 20 appointments, probably going to write 10 of them. 90 of them, directly or indirectly, didn't work out, but you spent $1,000 on leads and you made 10 grand on the 10 that you actually sold. Recruiting leads were the same way. But I mean, I dumped money into 2 different recruiting Facebook lead buckets. I hired a recruiter. I had to, for the amount of volume. Me calling in, but in between appointments didn't work at some point. And then what we started doing, and this is where we really started taking off, was when we hired people within the first couple of days, I started having a warm market. Who do you know that we can bring into this industry as well? And it's pretty funny. Everybody knows somebody that would be a good fit for them. But a lot of times a new agent doesn't know how to initiate that conversation. But when you ask them, they'll say, yeah, actually, I got a couple buddies who would be good at it. So I would say, Ivan, my answer is continue to lead from the front. Never take your foot off the gas pedal at all to start recruiting. You just got to turn a 40-hour work week into a 60-hour work week. And that's probably the main thing. And I was probably, to be completely transparent, working 20, 24 hours a week. And now I'm putting in some time because I'm not going to allow my personal production to go down. I'm going to keep my personal production where it's at, but the recruiting increase at all. And then you know how it goes. You got to spend money to make money. You're not going to be able to grow an agency if you're not spending money into the agency. So lead from the front, continue to write business, introduce this opportunity to everybody. We're bringing people on about 3 or 4 different ways right now, Ivan.
Absolutely. So what would you say to some of the people that thinking, okay, this is a good idea, I would want to do it, but I'm going to wait until I get myself to a position of 10, 15,000 a week, as Dave said, we need to invest money, all that type of stuff. What would you say to them? Would you still?
I would say to them, it's the same thing as the person who says, yeah, I understand I have barely any tread on my tire, but I'm going to wait till next week to get the tire fixed. All it is delaying and fear. All it is I barely know what I'm doing right now. So how am I going to bring people on board? And I think that's where you lean on the system a little bit. See, Ivan, you're as good as it gets. The training videos that we have are good as it gets. People on the phone, you can watch videos and you can train on all this stuff. But, and I stole this from somebody else, get agents to start bringing people on day one and realize that they don't have to be the one who trains them. You and your agency and the call on Friday and the AMS call on Thursday and the podcast, the webinars, and you do a Q&A system, that will train the new people. So I guess I would go like this. I'd say if you were if you felt very passionately about somebody, and you know that you could help them, you know you have the right way to help them, but you're afraid to help them, when would be the best day to start helping that person? Well, when I'm ready to help them. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So I would say start introducing people to this opportunity from day one. I mean, how do you think some of these people are 30 days in, and they have a team of 8 people already? They're 3 months in, and they got a team of 30, 35 people already. Do you think that brand new agent trained them? No, the system trains them. And I'll tell you what, I think that's one of the coolest things that I've seen about Family First Life is that the process, the groundwork has already been laid for success. I mean, it's the simplest way, I think, to make $1 million. You invest in leads, you make phone calls, you go see the people, you text or call from the home, we tell you what to write, you do the application, you get paid, and then you go on to the next one. I mean, it's a very duplicatable system. So you don't have to have all the answers. Just trust and know that all those who paved the way before you have already laid the groundwork for how this works. So I would say anybody on this call who's looking to grow, there's no better day today than to start it.
100%. So obviously war market, social media, some of the free ways that you can implement it today.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I picked that up from a couple people. I was not a big social media guy. In fact, I didn't even have a Facebook or an Instagram prior to FFL. It's just it'll drive you crazy if you allow it to, especially with what's going on right now. Oh, I hate this person. I don't like this person. It can be a lot, but there's more people on social media that we all have through this person, through this person, through this person, through this person, have access to than anywhere else in the world. So if you're not using social media, you're handicapping your process. If you go on Instagram or if you go on Facebook, you're exactly right, Ivan. These agencies that are just exploding, they're not pictures of their kids' ball game. They're not pictures of what I ate last night. They're not pictures of I went to church this morning. Look how good I am. They're pictures of their business. And in fact, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody the other day. I posted something on Facebook. This is wild. I posted something on Facebook about business for the first time. Facebook. I'll blow up Instagram, but first time on Facebook. And Ivan, this girl replies back to me. She says, "You're at FFL?" And I said, "Yeah, why would you ask that? This person I've known for about a decade." "Oh, because I was just thinking about joining up with such and such agency out west, but I didn't know that you were with the company." And I froze for a minute. And I thought, how many opportunities in the last how many years have I missed out on by keeping my business a secret? So if you're really looking to grow, there's nowhere better than social media. And then through your natural market, warm market, people you know, anybody who's looking for an opportunity, I would start there and I would just blow up social media with what you're doing for a career. And if you're just getting started, last thing I'll say, Ivan, and if you're just getting started, use other people's stuff. Nobody at FFL cares if you take a screenshot of somebody else's comp statement, you take a screenshot of another person who spent $11. These are the cool ones, I think. Invested $11, 40 minutes, $2,400 of money. That's going to catch anybody's eye no matter what they're doing. It doesn't have to be you. Use other people's successes to get you the recruiting gain.
Absolutely. This is some good stuff, Dave. I'm not surprised you growing as you are. So how soon are you guys gonna hit $1 million a month as an agency?
May, June is what we're targeting. I'd love to say next month, like what people. The plan was to hit SVP by the end of this month. I'm very transparent when I talk to people. It looks like we're going to come up a little short, which I'll put all that on my own personal production. But we're looking to hit $1 million May, June timeframe.
Got it. Are you going to be doing anything differently? Because you know how that saying goes, you could not do the same thing if you wanted to get different results. Now you have 300,000. So what is it? Is there anything that you guys are going to be doing differently?
It's a real good question. I think the answer is no, just more. So we just hired a social media manager. I mean, it always goes back to spending money. If you want to make more money, you got to spend more money. So if you have 2 recruiters, you want to go from 3 to 7, you got to hire another recruiter. If you're not getting the same kind of social media recruiting that other people are, you got to hire a social media manager. So I would say I don't know that we're going to do anything differently. we're just going to get more. I mean, I look at we have 2 recruiters, and I look at the agencies doing substantially more than us, Ivan. They got 4 and 5 recruiters. So it's not brain surgery, as they say. If you want more, put more people in doing it, and then you'll have double the number of recruiting leads. You'll have the double number of agents coming in, and when you double up the number of agents, your numbers should grow. There are 2 more things that I'm going to touch on, though, real quick, if I got 5 minutes.
You got plenty of time. We scheduled this call to go all the way till 12:30. So if we finish early, that's fine too.
I'll tell you 2 things have really helped our growth here, though. So what we do is when we bring somebody on board new, and I would say this for all of you guys looking at, actually, this is the first thing I would do if you were looking to start growing people into this industry. You can add whoever you want to on the Serve the People Facebook page. Anybody you want to, you can add on the Serve the People page. And there's nobody that can recruit people better than a system. So I just see a name right there. I see AJ right there, a young guy, looks sharp, looks like he could write some business and get out and hire some people. But AJ, your people know you. So they know your faults, they know your pluses, they know what you're good at, they know how long you've been doing this. So you can brag about this deal as much as you can, and they still know AJ. But if you say, I'll tell you what, I'm part of a phenomenal organization. We feel it is the best opportunity in the insurance and retirement planning industry. So I'd love for you to hear about it. Yeah, all right, AJ, I may or may not be interested. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do then. I'd love to just add you onto our Facebook page. That way you can just see a little bit of what we do. I mean, I've hired a couple people this way. That way you can see you can see what people in our company are doing. And then you throw them on there, and they might only be 10% interested at this time. But you throw them on there and they're seeing, what? This guy made 88 grand last week. I don't know anybody except for rappers and movie stars and athletes that make 88 grand in a week. I don't know anybody doing those kind of numbers. Is this real? And then that 15% goes up to 25%. And then they start seeing you put up a good number, and they're like, whoa, AJ did 7,500. It's not that number, but AJ did 7,500 last week. Hold on, 7,500, 15, that's 30K a month. That $360,000? Wait, maybe is there? And then it goes up to about 60%. And then you call them back and you're like, hey man, we got a free exam. We can get you into the class for free. Why don't you get your license and take a look at it? So my point is, don't put it all on you and your word of mouth and all that. Let the system recruit these people for you. You can put them on Serve the People. They start seeing big numbers. And what's funny is big numbers to us, Ivan, aren't big numbers to other people. You and I do 10K in a week. And we're like, didn't really work that much that week. And that's crazy. You know, people see numbers like 10K in a month. And they're like, hold up. I'm making 50 grand a year right now. 10K a month, that's 120 grand. So the numbers that they see will start to attract them to this opportunity. So the first place I would start actually with any warm market people, just get them onto the Serve the People page where they're going to see big numbers. So when we have a brand new recruit, Ivan, even if they're just going into class, we throw them on the Serve the People page. That way, because there's a big fallout from people who sign up for the class and the people who pass the class. Huge fallout. I don't know what it is, but it might be a 50, 60, 70% number. But we've seen that number start to go up because throwing them on the Serve the People page keeps them engaged, and it keeps them interested and attracted to that dollar right out of the gate. So we use the Serve the People Facebook page for recruiting, and then we use the Slack app for momentum throughout the agents. So I don't know if you guys do. I don't know if you people on the call do this. But our Slack is blown up all day, every day.
Yeah, I'm taking notes here, by the way, but that's what I was gonna dive into, and you're already ahead of me here. So I mean, which is our system. I don't like you covered one, which is Serve the People, and I hope it's clear, guys, that anybody that you think will be a right fit for this business and you want to bring them on, Serve the People is the best tool out there. So I mean, there's obviously the whole entire system, and that's what I wanted to dive into, our FFL system, what it is exactly, how does it work, and what are the components, and what's the importance of each and every one of them. So we're going to dive right into Slack, but I just want to kind of give you guys the list and the tools. We're not necessarily going to expand on every single one of them, but what's important is obviously your own Facebook page. You can use it to promote it to anybody and everybody. And by the way, don't forget to tag some people. Very important. Okay, it's going to show up on their timeline. Maybe a friend of the friend will see it. Maybe whoever you tag, not even interested. Maybe they have a business, and by the way, I've seen it all the time where the guy that we had on the Q&A 3 weeks ago, Tyler Adams, he was making 180 grand a year. And if somebody that hired him thought that, well, he already making 180 a year, he wouldn't be interested, he wouldn't be with FFL, right? So I know some people that actually made more and made a switch, and imagine if somebody making 200 grand, 180 grand, heck, 150 grand, and they made a decision to come here, you should realize how good of an opportunity that is. And that's why we're giving you the list here that you might want to utilize if you want to grow professionally, which is, again, your personal Facebook page, tag the people. You never know who's going to see the post, who's going to get attracted, and you never know. It's just, you never do. Serve the people. Makes a lot of sense. Instagram, a great tool, right? So you can direct message people there. You can just create some content and post it there. This is some passive ways. LinkedIn, we mentioned that, right? So another cool thing is our issue paid leaderboard. We do post it and serve the people. Steal it, grab it, rip it off, use it, distribute it at all the social media channels. And now, obviously, we have Marco Polo. We don't really use it as much as we should, but the part of the system that we're actually trying to implement right now, and I noticed not many people using that, and I think that's going to help you to actually get yourself to that 10K, so you can start hiring even on the higher level, which is our live dials that we do every single dial day. Monday and Thursday, we have live dials. You guys all get the text messages and emails about that. Don't forget to jump on it. It's for your own good. So we try to provide that structure for you, so you actually produce more, so you can hire. And lastly, it's the Slack. So be part of the Slack. And honestly, if you want to recruit and hire, if you're not active there, if you're just participating, if you're just seeing it but not doing anything, and people like recognition. So, and if you're hiring people, plugging them in, if you for community to support them, to give them some love, to give them the likes, comments, and all that type of stuff, whether it's, again, Slack or Serve the People group, be an active member of it. Help us recognize everybody. Help us, leave comments and everything. So definitely there's power in that. When you bring all these people on board as well, they feel exact same way, and they feel that they have that sense of community, right? So, but dive into Slack. What did it do for your company? So what is the power of Slack?
I was going to share my screen, and then it was foolish of me to think that I could, but so I know you guys can't see it very good.
You can actually. I can. Dave, you can share the screen. You can share the screen. Do you want to share the screen?
Looks like it's disabled.
I got
it.
Yep, there we go.
So this is our Slack group. You guys are looking at it, right? Are you looking at it, Ivan? Thumbs up. Okay, got it. So we have all these different tabs, which I probably have a little bit too many on them. But I mean, we blow this thing up. I mean, all throughout the day. And I think that if Facebook Serve the People is going to drive your recruiting, Slack is what drives our production. All right. I mean, they post every single sale on there. People congratulate them. I mean, people thumbs up them. People make a couple different comments right here. But I think it's such a powerful tool. I mean, this goes off all day long, all day, every single day. It's going off. Also, I'll tell you where I told Ivan that I know this thing is picking up, because we have an underwriting tab right here, and people will ask some questions, and then other people are even starting to answer the questions before I even can. So it's a place where everybody is active. And I'll tell you what I think the power comes into it is, Ivan, is that what happens is somebody posts a sale, and we got a couple different types of personalities here. All right. We got somebody who's going to say, man, are you kidding me? That person wrote a sale. And me when I was getting going, it would have motivated me. I'd say, Ivan, look at this guy, man. Are you kidding me? How is this guy writing so much? He has nothing that I don't have. There is nothing he can do that I can't do. Well, there is something that he can do that I'm not doing. It's called hard work and making it a priority is what he's doing. So we see these numbers go off. And I've even had agents tell me that, man, it motivated me seeing somebody else writing business to want to get out there and write it also. But what it really does is just a team synergy. You know, people liking it and people getting recognition. And I think it's the whole social media game a little bit, which I know Slack isn't social media, but it's the same concept. It's that people thrive for appreciation and recognition. And I think there's something that can be said about immediate gratification, immediate satisfaction, immediate appreciation. So when somebody leaves a home and they're all alone, especially when you got people in all different cities, and somebody leaves a home and they just wrote a sale, throw it on the Slack, and then people start high-fiving them virtually, and they start telling them great job and all that. It just creates that amount of momentum. So we throw everybody on Slack from day one, because what I found is even day one agents who passed their exam or they're coming over from another agency, there's still a little bit of apprehension and a little bit of fear and a little bit of, I don't know if these numbers, people haven't heard numbers like FFL numbers. They haven't, man. People think these numbers are phony and they're made up and all that because they're used to a 12K guy being their high guy in a week. 12K is number one in the week. 24 grand is the highest of the month and all that. So it immediately takes them into the system to see that these numbers are real and that people are really writing them. So again, I'll just repeat it. Serve the People Facebook page is for recruiting and getting buy-in with people. And then our Slack group is what drives the motivation. And I think it creates more sales.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, let's start small. Obviously, some of you that don't use Slack, you're gonna plug in. It's actually good. And you know, like what you said is your underwriting channel, right? You can get so much help. So guys, if some of you especially not comfortable calling from the home, but you might rather text, don't send direct messages. Go on Slack and post it into you know, saying that you need help. So there's a lot of good for producer in the Slack, right? So it's not just, hey, it's, you know, if we recognize each other, we're gonna help other agents, right? So, but even from your own selfish standpoint, like if you're part of the Slack, you're gonna benefit from that yourself. Let's just start small, guys. When you sell a policy, please go on our Slack, and you all know how to get in. If you don't, please reach out. We'll help you get hooked up. It's pretty simple and easy application. It'll be in your phone. As soon as you make a sale, please post it in the daily sales. We really appreciate it. It's gonna help a lot of people. But if you're gonna plug into other channels other than daily sales, you're gonna see a lot of good in it. You know, you're gonna you know, your sales will go up. You know, does that make sense, Dave? Is that
absolutely. And I know it's completely off topic, but I real quickly, I'm just gonna touch on something for any newer agents on here. I've noticed that when people text me from the home or text somebody else from the home, every now and then they write it, every now and then. But when somebody calls from the home, man, it seems like they write it every single time when they call the home versus text. And I know what it is. It's a posturing way of, I don't want to call, which is going to make me look like a new agent. It looks like I don't know what I'm doing. But something can be said about when they call. So I had a girl call me from the home the other day, and this girl always calls me from the home, and she's about one of our best new agents right now. And I was a little off topic, Ivan, so I'll be quick. But she calls from the home.
This is perfect, man. Actually, this is
goes,
good.
Hey, David, I'm sitting down here with a client, and I'm a little confused. It's a mortgage protection appointment. So here's the client's information. Blah 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 blah. What do you think? I'm looking at the HMS or the or a Smart UL for a permanent product. What do you think? And I said, well, it all depends. HMS is purely going to be protection, which is a little bit cheaper. But if they want more value, I would go with the Smart UL. She said, oh, so one's protection, one's value. And I said, yeah. She said, perfect, got it, thanks, hung up. Well, Ivan, she ended up writing the Smart UL for a pretty good clip, about $400 a month. She wasn't gonna go that way. So she said, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show the HMS and I'm gonna show the Smart UL. And she showed them both and they loved the Smart UL idea. So I said, well, what did you tell the client? She said, this is our protection for product and this is our protection for value. Are you looking purely for protection? Are you looking for value? And I was thinking, if she would have texted, which way would you go on this? And I would have just given an answer back. And she didn't use the, and it was only 4 words, but she didn't use the words that I gave. Who knows? And if you're afraid to call, here's the script that I told my people to use. We make it a way that it's not a brand new agent calling like a dummy onto their upline because they're so new they don't know what they're doing. So I told them to call like this. I say, here's what you do. When you're getting ready to pick up the phone, let them know, say, hey, Ivan, do you remember when I told you we're completely independent? We work with many different carriers. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to call into the underwriting department. We have access to them. We have priority access to them. So what they're going to do is check the entire marketplace, and they're going to have us know what is the best product for us. So you might be thinking you want to shop around a little bit. You don't need to, because that's what they're doing right now. And then they call, hey, David. Yeah, so I'm sitting here with my client, and here's her situation. Here's her meds. Here's her age. She's a non-smoker. Which of our elite programs do you think is going to be the best for her? And then I say, I mean, like this, Eagle Premier, gotta go, bye, click. And she goes, oh, perfect. You qualify for our Premier program. Let me walk you through it. So they make it a way that they're not calling their boss or their upline like a brand new day one dummy. They call the underwriting department. And I'll tell you what, the ones who call, I'm telling you, it seems like they write it almost every time. The ones who text, 50-50. So that's my whole take on that.
This is gold, man. And I know I was, we keep saying that. Call when you're in the home, call when you're in the home, call when you're in the home. Very few people do. And that's why we see 30% of the leaderboard doing 5,000 and above, or maybe 40% of the leaderboard doing 5,000 and above in a month, which anybody can do it. If you guys just start calling, you know, I could not agree more with Dave on that one. So, but man, we appreciate you so much. A lot of gold nuggets, a lot of good stuff on the call today. We also know your time is valuable, Dave. So, I mean, we definitely looking forward to you having that level of $1 million a month as an agency. And I know it's not that far away. So you're focused, you know, it's like the way you were focused on annuities, and everybody was like, hey, you know, like, we're going to call Dave if we need help with annuities, because you're killing it. So, but you just switched the focus now, and results are showing right away, from 40,000, which is almost all of your personal production, to 280 in 3 months. And that's some insanity. So thank you so much for your time, man.
Yeah.
And if you can just leave us with parting shot, you know, just boost us into the new week and give us some wisdom.
Yeah, I'll just go back to the call that I had with my buddy prior to calling on here. There's so many different ways that you can make a ton of money in this industry. You can sell just annuities, make $1 million a year. You can sell a lot of life insurance and make $1 million a year. But I think the most long-term way to go about this is to start bringing people on day one. It is the most sustainable way to grow your business. So if you were talking to somebody, and this goes for everybody on the call who's not doing it yet, hey, do you think hiring people makes sense? Oh, absolutely. Do you think some people can use what we have here at FFL? Oh yeah, absolutely they can. Do you like to help people? Absolutely I do. So if you're going to help people be put in a position that they can make an insane amount of money, when would be the best day to start doing that? Well, today. Then why the heck aren't you doing it? then start doing it today. All right. That'd be my last thing is we all know, after we've been doing this for a while, Ivan, I got to start growing. So if any of you guys cannot do what Ivan and I did and wait a couple years to do it, you guys are going to pass us and be ahead of us before no time. So
it's awesome, man. That's true. We delayed, and I think that's the biggest thing that when you're being asked on the call, what were you wish you done differently? Exactly that. So trust me, take my word for it. If I started hiring even 6 months quicker than I did, you know, we would be in completely different stratosphere.
Sure. So same thing.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time again. Rita, recruiting is the answer, guys. Have a great week. Take care.
Awesome. Appreciate it.